Howdy folks, and welcome to a Filthy Casual's Guide to Dark Souls. I know there are a lot of Dark Souls guys out there, so the purpose of this video is going to be geared towards completely new players. Basically just keeping you playing the game long enough to actually get good at it. Now, we'll go ahead and get into it. Create a character. We're going to go with Cass. He's a Filthy Casual. And now, we're going to be going with what's known as a quality build. Basically, we're getting our strength and dex both up to 40. That is generally agreed upon by the whole community as being the best build for a first run, because it gives you so much versatility in what weapon you're going to use. Now, going with a warrior actually ends up giving you a slightly better quality build at the end of it. You get one more point to put into all of your other jams due to him having slightly lower stats into his attunement, intelligence, and faith than the knight. But the knight's stats are a little hardier, and playing with him is basically how we're going to be playing the game just throughout all of it. So we're going to start with a knight. Now, life ring. It'll raise your maximum hit points by like 10 points. It's not all that good. Divine Blessing, you only get one and it's gone. You only get one and it's gone. These are consumables and they're pretty good for using on the first boss, but if you're really having trouble to the point where you need to be watching this to get through it, you're not going to want to go with them because you'll just end up using them up, and then if you die after you use them up, they're gone, and you just have to start over to have more to use. We'll get a fire gem in the second area, so that's not all that important. The rusted gold coins, they help you get more items. You get a bunch of these throughout the game. So I think for right up near the beginning of the game, the Sovereignless Soul is going to be the best choice. It gives us 2,000 souls right at the start. Pretty sure it's 2,000. But we're off. Alright, basic rundown. R1 or right bumper if you're using an Xbox controller, light attacks. With our knight build, with our knight class, you can get in 5 swings before your stamina runs out. R2 is heavy attacks. With straight swords, they're generally a 2-hit combo. Thrust, up. If you hold it down, you can charge it, it'll do more damage. L1, left bumper, raise your shield. Simple enough. L2 is weapon arts. If you have a shield on, it'll use your shield's weapon art. Most shield's weapon art is parry. If you hit triangle, you'll go into two-handing your weapon. You can still block. You get a different moveset. And it will add 50% of your current strength stat to the weapon in general. So, you'll see right here, R weapon 1, that's the first weapon slot in your right hand. The attack power is 124. That's just how much damage roughly you'll do with every attack. I think it's minus the enemy defenses. We go into two-handed, and now it's 130. because when we're two-handing, we effectively have 18 strength. I don't know if it rounds down or up. But that also applies to a weapon's attribute requirements. You'll see down here, strength, dex, intelligence, faith. Using the longsword requires 10 strength and 10 dex. Right here is the base rating and a scaling bonus. This bonus here is what comes from these two stats. Now, D and D, this goes all the way up to S. Quality weapons, we're going to get scaling from our strength and our dex. Most straight swords have great quality scaling. Now, we're going to take a look at shields. Our knight shield is a medium shield. They generally have better stability. They almost always have better stability than small shields, but less than great shields. They're a good midline. Most of them have parry. I think there are a handful that have some kind of a shield bash. I can't think of them right offhand, but if we encounter any, we'll poke around them. Over here at guard absorption, you see how much damage of each type your shield will absorb. So, while you have your shield up, you will take absolutely no damage from physical attacks. You will take exactly 49% damage from magic attacks. And then fire, lightning, and dark. Pretty simple. Now, our weapons have a guard absorption as well. If I can get this thing to stop arguing with my mouse. If you're two-handing and you block with your longsword, you will block 45% of incoming physical damage. So, we'll come down here, we'll remove this. Armor's pretty simple. You can see the rating of reduction on every stat and resistances to status ailments. Curse is the bad one. If curse fills up, you die. Period. No matter how much health you have, nothing. Luckily, there's not a whole lot in the game that does curse. Poise, you can see for each individual piece of armor. Poise is a stat that determines when you get staggered. You can see here your total poise. The higher your poise, the harder it is to knock you down. See, look, we'll block. Our stamina went down, but we're losing no health. Boop. We have our other Estus flask. Yeah, let's look at that now. The Estus flask is your healing item. Arguably the most important item in the game. Ashen Estus Flask restores your focus points, which is basically your magic points. That little blue bar up there. If you have a weapon equipped and you hit your L2, you'll go into using that weapon's weapon art. With Longsword, it's mostly stronger attacks. And you can see it ate up some of our focus points. So, just gonna go around, clear some of this stuff out. Now then, we are not going to go back this way yet. We will be going back there before we leave Firelink Shrine. However, there's a crystal beast back there. And if you can beat him right now, this guide isn't for you. You're probably good enough at the game to just go ahead and handle it. Okay. Here we have our bonfires. This is your respawn point. When you die, not if you die, you will respawn at the last bonfire you rested at. It also refills your health, it refills your Estus flask, and it restores your weapon durability. Now, you see that little red bar underneath of the sword and shield? That's your weapon durability. You're almost never going to have to think about that as long as you're actually hitting bonfires regularly. But it's a thing, it's there, your weapon might break. Now then, we'll just move around, clearing these boys out. Make sure you pull them one at a time. They're not super dangerous, but they flail. And one of their attacks is just, they go just bananas with that sword of theirs. And if you get 2 or 3 of them up on you while that's happening, you're done. But, you see we're taking a little bit of damage. That's because he's using fire arrows. So, it's reducing all of the damage from the physical attack, and a little bit of the fire damage is getting through. Alright, so, we're going to come down here, and we're going to equip these fire bombs. You press down on the D-pad to change your item in the item slot. And you press square if you're on PlayStation, or X if you're on Xbox, to use the item in that slot. If you're away from your first item, and you press and hold down, it'll throw you straight back to the first item in that slot, which should always be your Estus flask. Now then, don't be like me while I was testing and missed this jump 8 times in a row. Walk up, line yourself up first, and then jump. Hold B to sprint, and the default is to click the left thumbstick to jump. You have to be sprinting first, and then whoosh. Now then, we're going to fall down into the sky and do a plunging attack. Basically, you hit R1 while you're falling. We did not succeed at doing a plunging attack. I don't know what happened there. I will walk back around so I can demonstrate that. That is the first time that weirdness has ever happened to me. See? Plunging attack. Now, circle on PlayStation, or B on Xbox, is your dodge. You have invincibility frames through most of this. So, what that means is, while you're airborne, think right near the end of the animation, there are a few frames where you're vulnerable. You cannot be hit by enemy attacks. You can literally roll straight through a boss's weapon. Or any enemy's weapon, for that matter. So, that's very important to keep in mind. And we're going to take on Gunder. He's very, very parryable, but we're not going to do that. Wail on him while he's getting up. Never throw more than 2 attacks. You cannot ever get greedy with bosses. See? We roll right through the weapon. I rolled too early there. Changed over to Abyss Beast, which means he's got weakness to fire now. So, we lob our fire bombs at him. However, keep in mind, he's a lot more maneuverable now than he was. Heal when you need to. Time those dodges right, unlike what I'm doing. Oh boy. See? Doing a casuals guide and I died to Gunder. And now I have no firebombs to use, so we're just gonna have to fight him straight. But, that's cool. I can do it. I've done it plenty of times before. So, pardon me while I shut up and pay attention. Also, now he's awake. Also, you don't need to be afraid to use your shield. Boom! See? Yes, that was lovely. Just roll right into him. And down he goes. Grab our souls, light this bonfire, and we'll be on our way. Welcome to your hub. This is Firelink Shrine. Shaw. Drop the bonfire sword. And there we go. This is Waifu.
Welcome to the bonfire.
She's adorable, and we love her.
The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
Now, she does our level ups.
Farewell,
We're not going to do that yet, because we need to buy a few things.
Thy weapon, I've lots of little things, and ye ashen one, as is thou.
Now that we're going to get another firebomb. We're going to get a prism stone and buy a large leather shield. These are going to come in handy.
Ashen one.
This way. Now, I'm recommending you do this. It is not required. But it will help tremendously. Remove your armor. That way you're a little bit more maneuverable. When you're below 25%, you get fast rolls, meaning the animation on your dodge roll is faster. And you jump a little better. So, It's a glitch called tree jump. Glitch, exploit, whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically, you run up this tree, and you turn and jump onto the roof. It's a pain in the butt, but it's not really too difficult. Sometimes you'll nail it on the first go, sometimes it takes a while. See? Get dressed. And we'll head inside. Don't fall. You'll die, your souls will be up here, and you will have to tree jump again to get back up. Say hello to Pickle P. Pickle P likes to trade items. That's the main thing we came up here for. Now we have another Estus flask. You'll start out the game with one extra. Go into your inventory, and we have to go unequip our firebomb and leave the firebomb. Pickle Pete trades that for a large Titanite shard. We drop a prism stone, and we get a twinkling Titanite. That's for special weapons. And we drop a large leather shield, and we get another twinkling Titanite. Come up here, whack this wall. Look, it was fake. And fall down here. This is the other reason we came up here. The covetous silver serpent ring. Now you have this right at the beginning of the game. That's 10% more souls. Also, you've noticed me rolling as I hit the ground? That doesn't happen automatically. You have to press the dodge button just as soon as you hit the ground. Otherwise, you do that. And if you're on the run from enemies, those little extra frames could make the difference between you surviving or not. So, if you're falling from height, make hitting the roll button as soon as you hit the ground a habit. Alright. Go over here, talk to Andre, and upgrade our Estus.
When I ask you're the type like me I am.
Every time you get an Estus shard, you have to come over here to him and allot your Estus. Or reinforce your flask. Allot Estus allows you to choose which flask you want to fill in. Now, I usually keep one in the Ashen Estus flask, just in case, but we're not going to be using spells, and honestly, you're going to need all the healing you can get if you're really having trouble with this game. So, that nabs you 5 heals right at the start of the game. We got a few more things to poke around at, but we'll go ahead and spend these souls, that way we don't lose them. If you die one time, you drop your souls, and you have to go back to them. You saw me pick them up again in the fight with Gunder. If you lose them again, if you die again before you get back to them, they're gone. Period. No more. So, Vigor, soft caps at 27. That's your health. That'll leave you with 1,000 hit points. 1,000, 1,300, I don't quite remember which. Attunement, we're not going to touch. Endurance raises your stamina, so you can fight more. That's also going to end up at 40. Vitality raises your equip load. We'll be raising that a bit here and there, but not up to a whole lot. For now, while we're here, I think we'll get enough to get our strength up to 18 and our dex up to 16.
Farewell, Ashen Mud Maiden.
I gotta not get lost. I always get confused as to which side of this place is which. It's so bloody symmetrical. Now, we're gonna go over here and find a friend. You can try to fight this friend. It is not a good idea. Instead, we are going to cheese him. This is the Swordmaster. He's a jackass. He'll kill you easier than Gunder did. So, get his attention. Come down here. Tuck in this hole like a little bitch. Turn around and raise your shield. Did he leave? Hey, Pecker. And there he goes. Now, he normally drops 2,000, but since we put on the covetous Silver Serpent Ring before we came to play with him, we got 2,200. Now, when you kill an enemy by knocking them off, you don't get their drops. So, quick game. Load it back up. And then back up at his spawn point are his drops. Now, that katana requires 16 dex. That's the whole point of us getting 16 dex. So we're not going to fuss with it just yet. We'll go around and gather up all the stuff here. Boop. Homeward Bones are consumable items that return you to the last bonfire you rested at with all of your souls still. So, it's always nice to keep a couple on hand. Over here is a dogger. They're rude. They're fast. They're rude. They like to sprint at you, jump beside you, and then attack you while you have your shield up, but still hit you from the side. Like assholes. I don't like them. They're mean. Now, here we're going to demonstrate a neat thing. If you press R1 and click forward on the stick at the same time, you will kick. Kicks break shields. So, if you have an enemy with a shield up, you can kick the shield. It will even work on great shield enemies, you just might have to kick them more than once. And once they're knocked back and way open like that, step in close, tap R1, and you will do a riposte. Which is a nice big stab 'em in the tummy move. Okay. We'll use up all the souls that we picked up. No. No. Use selected allows you to use more than one. So. Boop. Boop. And not that. Ooh, that's the soul we got in the beginning as a burial gift, and yes, it was 2,000.
Predict them to Loth. Very well, then taken.
Alright, we have that at 16. No bad. Alright.
Farewell,
So,
Ashen. May the feel.
the point in getting our dex to 16 was to make this usable. Now, this is a straight dex weapon. Katanas are fun. They have bleed. Use it if you like it. We're gonna stick with the longsword. But the point of this, the point of the quality build, is to open up opportunities. So we're going to be putting our stats that... I don't know why I'm going that way. I need to teleport. We're going to be getting our stats to a point where you can try and use whatever weapons you come across almost as soon as you come across them. Now, we're going to go back to the Cemetery of Ash. And it's still not very likely that you'll be able to do this yet, but you did want to wait until after you got the covetous Silver Serpent Ring. We're going to go fight the Crystal Beastie. Ooh. And there he is. What's up, big fella? See? No damage, just stamina. They do nice, big, telegraphed, predictable attacks. But with 5 Estus, you should be able to do it. Just stay smart, dodge at the right times, don't be afraid to use your shield, and don't let your stamina get too low. He doesn't have too many follow-up attacks, so... And down he goes. And we get a buck ton of souls. One thing I have not demonstrated yet. Your stamina refills very slowly when you have your shield up, so you can't just hold your shield up all the time. You need to let your shield down so your stamina can refill. And if you have your shield up, when your stamina runs out, you will get knocked back and be vulnerable to an enemy riposte, which is not good. Okay, back to the bonfire, back to Firelink.
The mark of Toloth. Very then Tufhagen.
Now, let's see if we can get... Nope, 17. That's fine.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flip.
Alright. And that's it for Firelink Shrine. So, hit your bonfire. Travel to the High Wall of Lothric. And we are going to end our first episode here. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for a Filthy Casual's Guide to the High Wall of Lothric. Bye.